Somewhere in China right now, a truck is rolling across a bridge made from something that grew out of the ground less than a decade ago. Not steel, not concrete. A plant so fast-growing it can shoot up more than 1 meter in a single day, fast enough to watch it move if you stared long enough. For 10,000 years, every house, every ship, and every bridge humans built started with a tree.
But trees are painfully slow, some taking up to 75 years before they are strong enough to build with. And the modern world simply cannot wait that long anymore. So construction turned to steel and concrete instead. Materials fast enough to keep up with growing cities, but responsible together for more than 15% of all human carbon emissions every year. For decades, that felt like an unsolvable trap. Slow and green, or fast and dirty. Nothing in between. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how one country broke that trap, using a plant that engineers spent a century mocking. This matters because construction shapes almost everything about modern life. And right now, it is also one of the biggest sources of pollution on the planet. Every skyscraper, every highway overpass, every apartment block adds to a carbon bill that keeps climbing higher each year. What most people have never heard is that a genuine alternative has existed quietly for almost 4 decades, refined in a laboratory while the rest of the construction industry kept pouring the same concrete it always had. This is the story of how that alternative finally broke out of the lab and started carrying real structural weight. That plant is bamboo, and here is the detail that surprises almost everyone. Bamboo is not a tree at all. It belongs to the grass family, the very same family as your front lawn, just scaled up dramatically. It is the fastest growing plant on Earth, reaching full structural strength in only 6 to 9 years instead of the decades a tree requires. And because it is a grass rather than a tree, harvesting it does not kill the plant. The root system survives underground, sending up a fresh stalk without any need to replant. Pound for pound, raw bamboo can outpull steel in tensile strength, and it is more than double the strength of ordinary wood. Builders across Asia have known this for thousands of years, and even today, workers still climb bamboo scaffolding dozens of stories high to construct modern skyscrapers, trusting their safety to a plant. So why did engineers spend 100 years refusing to build with it seriously? The answer is that a raw bamboo stalk is a nightmare for structural engineering. It is hollow, making solid connections difficult. It is round, awkward for builders used to flat, square beams.
Worse, its strength is wildly inconsistent. One stalk might be remarkably strong, while the neighboring stalk from the exact same plant turns out weak and unreliable. Try to drive a bolt through it, and it splits straight down the middle. Left untreated, it rots quickly and invites insects. And building codes have zero tolerance for unpredictability. An inspector cannot approve a beam because it seems strong enough. Structures need materials that perform identically every single time, in freezing winters, blazing summers, and 30 years down the road. Because raw bamboo could never make that guarantee, engineers gave it a nickname that stuck for a century: the poor man's timber. Good enough for huts, never good enough for real cities. But here is the twist that changed everything, and it had nothing to do with finding a stronger species of bamboo. It came from asking a completely different question. What if bamboo was not treated like lumber at all, but more like raw flour, broken down and reassembled from scratch? That question gave birth to bamboo scrimber, and the manufacturing process is almost violent to picture.
Whole bamboo stalks are fed into machines that crush and tear them apart along their natural grain, a process engineers call fiberizing. What comes out looks nothing like timber, just a loose, stringy mass, closer to straw than wood. And this is the elegant part. Every single weakness bamboo ever had simply disappears, because the original stalk no longer exists in any recognizable form. Workers dry those fibers, soak them in resin, align every strand in the same direction, Then press the mats under extreme heat and pressure, squeezing out nearly all the trapped air. What emerges from that press is barely recognizable as a plant product, a dense, engineered block often heavier than water, harder than most hardwoods sold today, and shockingly efficient too. Roughly 80% of every harvested stalk gets used, including bent or damaged pieces that would normally go to waste. The performance numbers are almost hard to believe. High-grade bamboo scrimber has tested with compressive strength above 160 megapascals and bending strength beyond 300, matching premium engineered hardwood from a plant that regrows completely in under 10 years.
And here is a fact that surprises nearly everyone. This is not a recent invention. The first high-strength version was developed back in 1987 at Nanjing Forestry University in China, meaning the underlying chemistry has been sitting on the shelf for close to 40 years. What changed was not the formula, it was the decision to finally build with it on a massive national scale. Having a strong material in a laboratory, however, changes nothing on its own, and plenty of brilliant inventions never escape the testing stage. The real barrier standing between bamboo and the mainstream construction industry was something far less glamorous than chemistry: the building code. Codes evolve slowly by design because a mistake with a structural material does not just cost money, it costs lives. Engineers need years of standardized testing and a transparent paper trail before any inspector anywhere will sign off. And for most of bamboo's history, that kind of documentation simply did not exist. Even today, there remains a gap. Recent research into structural bamboo manufacturers worldwide found that only about a third publish clear strength data, and fewer still carry formal environmental certification.
That gap, though, is closing fast. Engineered bamboo is now being benchmarked against the same international standards used for timber, and the volume of research is exploding. Nearly 7,000 scientific studies on engineered bamboo were published in just the 10 years leading into 2024. Each study adds another layer of proof that regulators need before granting approval, and slowly, bamboo stopped being an interesting curiosity and became something engineers could confidently specify on official blueprints. Once that trust arrived, applications exploded, far beyond decking and flooring. This is the part of the story that stops people in their tracks. In China, engineers designed and completed what is recognized as the world's first 7-story building constructed primarily from engineered bamboo. Not decorative trim, but the actual load-bearing columns, beams, and floor systems, prefabricated and assembled on site. 7 full stories, built from a plant the industry laughed off as hut material barely a generation earlier. And it did not stop with buildings. One engineer working between universities in China and the United States has used engineered bamboo to build road bridges rated for real vehicle traffic, including one in Hunan province, assembled from prefabricated bamboo components by a small crew in about a week without any heavy construction equipment. A bridge made from grass, strong enough for a fully loaded truck to cross. Behind this breakthrough sits something far bigger than clever engineering: a coordinated national strategy. In 2022, China partnered with the International Bamboo and Rattan Organization to launch an initiative called Bamboo as a Substitute for Plastic, explicitly tied to the nation's climate targets. The following year brought a 3-year national plan to scale bamboo as a replacement for high-emission materials like steel and concrete, complete with demonstration zones designed to prove the industry works at massive scale. China controls roughly 1/5 of the entire world's bamboo supply and has built a complete industrial chain to move it from forest to factory to finished structural beam. According to official figures, China's bamboo forests absorb and store around 300 million tons of carbon every single year simply by growing.
And serious money is following, with the industry targeting a value of 700 billion yuan by 2025, climbing toward a full trillion yuan by 2035. Numbers that large get noticed globally, and new engineered bamboo companies are already emerging across the United States, India, Indonesia, Vietnam,
Singapore, and South America. None of this means the story is finished, though. Bamboo scrimber is bonded together with resin, often a phenolic compound, which means the final product is technically a composite rather than pure plant material. Questions about long-term fire behavior, decades-long durability, and end-of-life disposal are still being studied carefully. And building the industrial base required to manufacture certified structural beams, fiber processing lines, resin baths, heavy hydraulic presses took China decades to assemble. Countries rich in wild bamboo but lacking that infrastructure cannot simply flip a switch overnight, and closing that gap is now less a science problem than an investment, training, and policy problem, with building codes continuing to move cautiously because safety always comes first. Even so, what has already been proven is remarkable. Engineers took a plant the construction world dismissed for 100 years, refused to treat it like ordinary timber, broke it down into raw fiber, and pressed it back together into something stronger than the hardwood it now replaces. It regrows without replanting in under 10 years. It locks carbon away instead of releasing it. And today, it is already carrying 7 stories of structure and holding trucks steady above real rivers. For thousands of years, building bigger meant cutting down something that took a lifetime to regrow. For the first time, there is a serious structural material that can regrow before a child finishes school. So here is a question worth sitting with. What other materials the world has quietly dismissed as cheap or primitive might be just one clever manufacturing process away from reshaping how we build? Tell us in the comments what you think deserves a second look. And if this changed how you see the next building you walk into, hit like and subscribe so you never miss what we uncover next.